Fan's back on. I'm back on. I've been up, but I can hear the monkeys in the trees, these little fuckers. If you watch slow enough, you'll hear them. They'll be coming over into the jungle. I know they're out there. Wait, I kind of see one up in the tree. Wait, there it is. See? Look, told you, bro. They're so fucking sneaky. Let me get my slippers on. They're all over the place, just like me. Yeah, is that the sunshine coming through? Ooh, we got sunrise. Okay, let's take two. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. Gotta find that shine. There's so much against us every time, every morning. It's hard to find it. Um, whew, the spider web. Going through a spider web of emotions. I know they're in there, sitting there chilling on the roof, trying to figure it out. Fucking spider webs everywhere. But yeah, this is what happens when you're rising and shining in the morning. These little fuckers are out here for sure. We out here soon enough. Soon enough. Funny how it went live. I could hear them come out. I thought that was quite interesting because the electricity goes out on the island and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to be a part of it. You have to be a part of life. My friend just called me and said, man, you figured it out. I want to live like you. I want to break through the matrix, but he still complains about money and he thinks it's an accumulation more than an attitude. And it's none of those things. He just fucking got that web all over me. It literally is the lifestyle that you choose. If you choose to be a part of the rat race, then you will forever kind of complain that things are going to cost money again, or you can't afford something. And the only thing I think you can't afford is to live a life unlived. You know, that's just a fact to me. For sure, I do it without money. If you're in fear of money, you won't make it. There'll never always be enough. You always like borrow it or take it or swipe a credit card. But being here doesn't actually mean that you are here. And that's why I have to heal from this. You know, I have to get with it after the full moon and sitting there, um, trying to examine my mistakes and my part of losing love and losing life and making the same mistake twice. It's uh, old already. It's enough to miss the bus. Eventually, I think all people will have to see their um, their part that they play in everything. You know, since you're the only one that has to feel the pain, right? You're the only one that's gonna get the lesson. And my lesson is that I'm too abusive. The thing that hurts the most to say and already makes me cry is the fact that I saw my dad be abusive to my mom, and I swore that it would never happen. They say that everybody has three masks: the one that they show the world, the one they show themselves, and your subconscious. And reading about Carl Jung and the shadow, you know, they call it the shadow. He's the one that coined that phrase. The subconscious behaviors that we participate in, maybe we learned as a child, maybe it's a coping mechanism, right? It's a strong amount of cope. My buddy talks about, you know, people try to find a way to cope. Well, you know, it makes more sense to cope than to deal. And should I make a deal over cope shirt? Might have to. Let's write that one down. Deal over cope. Shuffle up and deal, as they say in Poker Star. Shuffle up and deal, because it's more like shut up and deal with it. It's not the nicest thing, but it's almost like you have to be not nice to your emotions. And this is what we all are a part of. We all have some deep shit that we're in our head, and that Saints addiction. I'm honest about my flaws, you know? I'm honest about my shortcomings. I'm honest about these things because it is real, you know? Your emotions are real, your past is real, there's nothing you can do about it. Deal over cope. And I think a lot of people want to cope and create a false narrative or a false reality, it's so much easier to blame the other person. It's so much easier to be like, oh, you did all this and that. But, if I wasn't such a cheater, this wouldn't have happened. And it's happened multiple times, and I've cheated multiple times. It's let's blame my father, you know? I mean, he was with my mom. I don't think he ever cheated on my mom, but after the divorce, bro went ham, and he wasn't loyal to anyone. I remember one time he had 3 different girls at the house, and I think he slept with them all at the same barbecue, at the same house. Like, how do you do that front yard, backyard, and one in the bedroom? My dad pulled it off. And in a way, you have to be a manipulator to pull it off. That's not something I have a lot of fun admitting. I don't feel like I'm manipulating anyone. I just feel like I'm making decisions and I'm getting uh, what I want. And all I wanted to do was have good sex. I didn't want to be celibate. I didn't want the woman that I love to control our sex life or complain about it. I felt that was already a disaster in the beginning because I was sitting there going like, this will separate us. Like, for sure. The only way I feel close in most men is by sexual encounters. Oh, that's fucking, the electricity went out again. And it's back on. And that feels like the relationship, it's tumultuous. It felt like real love. I walked around for 2 days, 48 hours after it happened, and I was just like, has anybody else ever experienced short-term love? Has anybody else experienced something that felt so real and then it disappeared? And I'm like, can it be real if it disappears? Can it be real if it can be stopped? How can you love me so much and then love me so little? And that seems like conditional love. That seems like what I was experiencing as a child. It's like, you can be so important to me and you can be cut off. Just like that. Real life Scorpio shit. Something my dad would pull. Something I'm having a tough time unlearning. I didn't know it was seeping into me. I'm gonna talk about it. If I can, if this video plays, I'm gonna play a video by another gentleman like me with some beard, a little bit of a beard, and in a park and just doing a random live, and he's going to see a psychologist, and he's wondering why he keeps dating these toxic women. What about his childhood or upbringing makes him gravitated towards these women? And I'll play his video and let him explain himself. I've been throwing up every morning. I think I'm overthinking or overeating. It just won't sit well in the morning. It's like sitting on the top of my stomach. When I brush my teeth, it makes me puke. Almost thinking about my toothbrush makes me want to puke. Thinking about my actions makes me want to puke. It's tough seeing you. You won't see it till you're in the battle. It's just impossible. There's little to no on-the-job training. Fucking monkeys. You're never going to know. You don't know the next set of complications the person is bringing you. It's almost like a puzzle. And everybody has a different background. Everybody has different attachment styles. Everybody's moving a mile a minute. They have their own fears and their own realities, and they make their own mistakes, and we just bump into each other. And it'll never be fair. Even in the attempt to make it fair or even the scorecards or get mines, there's always a give and take. Whatever you do in the dark comes out in the light. And for me to heal from this, I'm going to have to come out into the light. This is too many times I got physical with someone that I loved while they were pregnant. And it's a shame of my life. Keeps me up at night, makes me throw up in my own mouth. How did I witnessed my own mother get punched by my own father. I mean, you're not often you see your mother with a broken nose, blood coming in, and just staring at her at the side of the bed. I knew it was monumental. I had frozen in my mind, and it was the end of an era, beginning of the end. Of my parents, because before then, I never saw my dad with another woman. I never got that experience from him. He was teaching me how to manipulate, how to keep track of the phone calls and what'd you say to her? Oh, I told Kelly you were at the grocery store. What time did she call? I don't remember. This is all before cell phones. So I had to actually write it down. And he would be pissed at me if I fucked it up. And who wants to fuck up to their hero, their parent, their guardian? And who wants to be in fear from the people that they love? Like any minute you could be spanked, hit, or reprimanded. It's made me into a violent person. Stone cold killer, bro. If I see you as an enemy, there'll be no mercy. I'm trying to take that medicine. Should have taken that medicine. There'll be no mercy. There'll be no sympathy, and I don't give it to me. Either life was so hard. It's not like I can cry my way out of prison. Not like I can throw my way out of my decisions. And I thought I was making a good decision. All my friends were like, this other girl's so much better for you. And I knew who I was in love with. And my heart doesn't change because of circumstances. And even the other girl's like, I can't be second place. And I'm like, I can't blame you. Nobody wants to be second place. Nobody wants to be the backup plan. And before I step away, I'm not trying to be my dad. You know, Not for nothing, I think we have a lot of our parents inside of us we don't want to admit. We talked shit. We disrespected. We were probably little fuckers growing up too. Just the facts of it. Disobedient. Rebellious. Hard-headed. And that's just who they were too. You know? You think you're the first one to be the partier in your family. You think you're the first wild one. You think you're the first funny one. And the truth is, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's a shame, bro. Because I saw how much pain my mother was in. I see the pain I caused. Broken hearts, broken trust. And I just wanted to get laid. I didn't want someone playing games. I wanted to solidify what I was feeling. I wanted to connect, and it just kept going further and further away from me. Kept getting doled out in pieces, and instead of connecting with me, it kept walking away from me and going further away. And any time I wanted to spend, it was all about quality time for me. It went away. And that's why I can't handle it today, you know? That made me throw up so hard. Medicine's not good. Ooh. Antibiotics. Fuck you up every time. I've thrown up like that since a year ago. Ooh. Psychology. Fucking my shit up, but what I'm learning from these guys, I'm gonna pull up his video, you know, to heal from this thing, I had to identify some of my attachment disorders, some of the way I handled stress, you know, how I react under pressure. It's still below grade. I'm hard on myself, so it's not up to snuff, if you know what I mean. It's not up to the level that I needed to be at, and that's just facts. You're not going to want to face it, because then it brings regret, it brings pain, it brings admittance. And who wants to sit there and go, I put the love of my life in a headlock, or I tried pulling a pregnant woman out of a car, or cheated in every relationship I've ever had. Saint's supposed to be trustworthy. And then I break trust. As soon as someone's willing to break trust with me, I'm willing to break trust with them and do self-sabotaging activities or things that only benefit me, and the results I get. A lot of throwing up and regret. Fuck that, fuck my stomach up. Okay, this gentleman was in a park. He was keeping it real. I feel like the other older brother in this scenario, it's only 10 minutes, so we'll get into it, but I did this to my little
crazy
brother
girls.
too.
Why are we so attracted to these crazy girls? And by crazy girls, I mean the ones that are very unstable with their emotions. You know, the women that really go up and down, left and right, really just drag you along for a roller coaster of a ride. I mean, why do we do this? Well, right now I'm in therapy already for 3 months now, trying to figure this out, because my last 5 girlfriends, they all had some sort of personality disorder, borderline personality disorder to be exact. And if you haven't watched my last couple of videos on, you know, this type of situation, definitely check it out. Especially my last one, where I go over 20 minutes in that video talking about borderline personality disorder. So it's a serious thing, guys. I'm attracted to it for some reason, and again, I'm trying to figure this out in therapy. But I'm not the only one in the boat. You guys that are watching this video are also attracted to these crazy girls, And we're trying to figure out why we are attracted to these crazy girls, so that way in the future we can prevent attracting ourselves to them and attracting them to us. So here's the thing, okay? In therapy, we're breaking down why I like this so much. Why am I so attracted to these crazy girls? It has a lot to do with my upbringing. I was a happy kid, but there was definitely situations where I had a lot of instability.
There's a beautiful girl right there. Oh, monkeys. You can hear them jumping on the roof. If they come by, I'll film them. Those fuckers are all over it. Here's another beautiful soul reaching out. Did nothing but love me, didn't fight me, didn't hit me. Just fucked me. And I fucked myself because I was in love with someone else. I couldn't fake the feelings, and I'm so addicted to love and the way that this other one looked and felt that completely disregarded it. It was just sex to me, and that's using people. For them, that was sex for them too, so they admitted to using me as well. So it's just an itch. Can you scratch my back? And I think we all try to get what we want out of things and out of life, and sometimes we manipulate our way into what's happening. I don't like being called a manipulator, maybe because it's true. It's really hard to do when you're a salesperson and you want to close deals and you have objectives and you work hard and you even work on your people skills to get and achieve things, position, life. We're all doing it. Again, the three masks. I'm not proud of it. It's just the truth of it. You know, the truth is I don't feel like love would last. I felt like this person was going to leave me, abandon me right away, which he did. But I ran into the arms of someone else. I ran to safety. I ran to no arguments, more love, more understanding, and the kind of safe, not toxic, not so up and down also doesn't make it as real as love felt with the other person. I had the opportunity to kind of date two people at the same time, not at the exact same time, but experience them in similar time frames. And one was gorgeous as all get out, right? But she was also destructive as she was beautiful. They call it the crazy hot scale, and both things were all at all-time 10. But what if you go mid? What if you go with somebody that's more even keel? Someone that actually cares about you, doesn't start fight, doesn't slam mental jargon at you and laundry list of things instead of apologizing. It was interesting. I have the slow, steady, calm of a Midwest upbringing. That's cool. I'm watching this insect bring food to his kids. And then there's the other half that's exotic from foreign lands and had me captured. I was hook, line, and sinker. And then I asked myself, like this guy, what the fuck, Saint? What are you doing, dude? How are you still having these experiences, you know? Why are you so handsy? It's not my first time in a relationship being handsy. That makes me abusive. And if I'm cheating, that makes me a manipulator. And if I'm denying, that makes me a narcissist. And if I'm not fixing, that means I'm unhealed. Who wants to be unhealed? Who wants to be alone? And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They like can't handle the breakups, the inconsistencies, other people's attachment styles, different love languages. You can buy me all the gifts in the world, but if you're not with me, then you're not with me. This is how my brain works. And then they're not safe with me. That's scary. I was like, that's the worst part, is to intimidate someone else. You want that power to be powerful and intimidating, but you don't want that fear and that break of trust. It's not the look. I should have taken it with food. I thought I had enough food in my stomach from last night to fix this, but apparently I'm not healed enough to fix it. I'm not patient enough. I take things personally. They feel like personal attacks. Like I said, if I start visualizing you as my enemy, I can sit here and look you in your face and say, there be no mercy. And I know I'm being merciless, and I know I'm being aggressive, and I know I'm being an asshole. You tell me how you treat people that disrespect you. You tell me how you turn the other cheek, peacefully resist, and in conflicts before they even start. Please tell me how you do it. I'm listening to this guy because he went through it. Sucks to talk about my upbringing, but this is the only way to get through it. So this guy was candid. He was admitting
unstable relationships, you know, specifically with my brother and my father. You know, it has a lot to do with my brother and how stuff is falling from the tree. But yeah, there was a lot of, you know, my brother's 9 years older than me, and he, you know, he had a rough relationship with my father. There was a lot of, you know, fights and stuff like that. I won't go into too many details. Not comfortable yet in front of the camera to talk about that. But so my brother, my father had a very rough, you know, childhood. You know, the way my brother was brought up. And then when I was born, you know, 9 years younger than my brother, I kind of got passed down that similar treatment for my brother. So a lot of instability there. I didn't know what to expect from my brother. I would wake up every morning just thinking to myself, okay, what is my brother going to do to me today?
I probably did this to my brother.
There was a lot of fear in my childhood. So that kind of stuck with me, and I never really sought help until now. And one of the few things that we're doing in therapy, again, we're breaking down my decision-making, why I'm attracting these types of women, and that is because instability, okay, unstable relationships, unstable people, is something that I know. I don't know stability. I don't know what stability is like. In fact, my first girlfriend at the age of 18 or 19 was the most stable girl I've ever been with, but I ended up breaking it up with her because I was too bored. Okay. Along with other things, I stopped being physically attracted to her. But the number one thing was I was too bored with her. All of my girls after her had some sort of personality disorder. They were abandoned as kids, and they were extremely emotionally unstable. And I was very attracted to that because that was something that I was used to as a kid. Okay, I was very used to that unstable, emotional, you know, type of relationship. So a lot of you are very similar to that. You had some sort of trauma. You had some sort of rough relationship with either your dad, mom, sister. Definitely there was some sort of abuse, some sort either physical or a lot of verbal abuse.
All of it.
For me, mainly it was a lot of verbal abuse. There was definitely some physical abuse coming from my brother. And that kind of impacted, you know, where I am today. You know, what kind of women I'm dating, what kind of
my own
people
brother.
I'm hanging around with. A lot of
Fucked up my whole family.
Unstable things happening. So right now in therapy, I'm trying to figure out how I can kind of reprogram my brain to not think about that, to not really choose unstable women to be in my life, because I actually just got out of a relationship a little over a month ago with another girl who was extremely unstable. In the beginning, she was like, I'm not ready for a relationship. I just got out of a relationship with my ex. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's just date and have a good time. And then a few weeks passed, and she's like, yeah, I still don't want to rush into anything. I don't want to put a label on anything. And then 3 days after that, she's like, Josh, can you be my boyfriend? I said, sure, yeah, whatever. But deep down in my heart, I knew that, there was something big coming. So after she asked me to be her boyfriend, 3 days later after that, she says, I can't do this anymore. So there's a lot of impulsiveness happening here. And she's not the first girl to do that. A lot of the girls previous to that relationship were very impulsive. They would make decisions that would impact their lives very, very quickly without actually
with another dude.
Thinking about it. If you're making a decision that's going to impact you drastically, it takes time to make these decisions. And if there is a break in a healthy relationship, or in a relationship that doesn't have, such emotional distress, if there is a breakup, that breakup is usually not going to happen in a split second. Something is actually starting to go down in the relationship, gradually go down.
Blocking sex.
Usually, at least what I've
me,
recognized with other relationships,
degrading me, picking me
breakups
apart.
don't happen, out of the blue. Okay, it's something that gradually happens. There is a gradual decline in interest, or just a gradual decline in the quality of the relationship. This is not something that you can make a decision within 2 minutes. So that's what my last relationship was like. It was a very impulsive, very anxious relationship. I mean,
anxiety.
Whenever I wasn't with the girl, I was having these panic attacks, very bad anxiety. And this actually started after our second date together. So my body actually picked up on this emotional instability. And
I knew. And maybe she knew about me too.
It's just one of
that I would be controlling and that I would create unsafety.
The reason why you're
and that eventually it would burn.
These crazy girls and why they're attracting themselves to you,
maybe it's all self-sabotage.
Is because it has a lot to do with your childhood. What is the number one thing that you can do? You can seek a therapist. Okay, that's what I recommend you do. Or if you have anybody in the medical field who you can talk to. I think another big portion of why I'm at where I'm at with my dating life is because I'm an introvert. I don't really like to talk, and that's because when I was a kid I would talk a lot, and eventually I became very scared to talk because my brother was always around. So I never, I was scared, and I think that kind of passed down into my adult years, and I started suppressing a lot of my emotions. And that kind of, remained dormant in my system. And now because I'm in therapy, it's starting to come back out again. And most people are introverts. Most people suppress their emotion. And this is why we make our decisions of dating people who are really not good for us. Because they aren't emotionally stable. They will emotionally torment us. They will emotionally go nuts on us and just really affect the way we live our life. So the reason why we're making these decisions is because of our childhood. It's because of our upbringing. It's because of our programming in our mind. So what you can do is seek help, seek a therapist, because this is what's going to make you change your future decision-making skills. Okay? You deserve a healthy relationship, a healthy girl. A woman, a girlfriend, a wife, they should only be complimenting your life. They should not be dragging you and taking you down. All right? So make these decisions that will help impact your life in a very positive way. And the number one way to do this is to really dig deep down inside of yourself and figure out why you are making these decisions and why you're attracting these types of people. This is the number one thing you can do, and this is what I'm doing right now. This is why I'm seeking help. and I'm getting better. I'm starting to speak more. I'm starting to let out my emotions more. And now I'm starting to understand what stability is and how it can be so healthy for us. So, yeah, just my 2 cents on why I'm attracted to crazy girls and probably why you're attracted to crazy girls. It just has a lot to do with your upbringing. So, if you guys like this video,
There it is. My phone's running out of battery too, but man, it took another YouTuber sitting in the middle of a park admitting, you know, the brokenness of his decisions. I tried to unwind my decision. I was just like, this chick's not healed. She's being destructive, and even though I love her so much, this is toxic. And it bled into my other relationship. Ended that, and I was trying to say, hey, I want something stable. I want something stable. I don't want these fireworks, fucking roller coasters, and extreme highs and extreme lows. I wanted somebody that stuck around, that wouldn't abandon me and trigger my abandonment issues, or wouldn't abuse me and trigger my abuse and my violence and my aggression. Couldn't get that out of me. I want somebody to be able to suppress those feelings and complement my life, like he said. That drag down is real. You can be high as a motherfucking kite, and if the person you're with isn't feeling it, you're gonna feel it for real, and you end up having to wear their emotions or their attachment styles, or then you're in control in the way they want to run the team. And even though I said teamwork makes the dream work, she was like, please stop saying this. And I'm like, that's the best phrase that I live by. That if we drop our egos and we have a common goal, then we can attain anything. We can manifest whatever we want. But of course, somebody's going to feel hurt. Someone's going to be still hurt from the name that was called, or the accusation, or the action. The regret builds up, the resentment builds up, and then it's just nothing but detachment. Everybody's going no contact, and no one's communicating. And there'll be no growth. It'll be mistake after mistake. I'm starting to repeat myself. I'm starting to repeat the same actions, and my reactions are the same. And when I get cornered, I get abusive. I feel like someone's attacking me. It happened the other night. This girl was leaving her bike running, and she was talking with my friends, loud, obnoxious, drunk, fat, and loud English bird that's just always so combative, always so snarky, always so angry. And I've seen her crying at the bar, and just a emotional wreck of a human being, right? You've seen a train wreck, I'm sure. She's so fat, so overweight, so drunk, so emotional, so abusive. And I was trying to say to my friends, she wouldn't shut up, so I shut off her running. She left her, no, my battery, and fuck you, why are you touching things? And just complete coming at me like a rhino. And I wanted to be like, shut your fat ass up, you destructive little bitch. You know what I mean? No one likes you, kind of destroy her. And she's attacking me and destroy her enemy, instant enemy. And instead of doing that, I knew she wasn't that much of a threat, even though she was charging towards me and getting to her bike and still talking shit. Our friends, my friends, the friends she was chilling with, were like, stop it, Nina. You shouldn't be talking like that. She didn't know. Come on, it's just a fucking bike. Calm down. Never fucking calm down. I'm a fucking tosser. I have no self-control. I'm going to blow trust and everything because of my anger blowout. And I noticed that in me, seeing that red flag coming at me, like a bull that I am, it made me want to defend myself. I could feel my blood rise inside me. You could call it anxiety. You call it a self-protection mechanism. But I've been so used to instability in my life that it's not above me to be in an argument or argue with someone or go to battle. I'm a fighter too. And I was like, shut your fucking hole. I was like, no one cares with your loud ass. I can't get a fucking word in. I'm trying to say goodbye to my friends and you wouldn't shut up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You hate your life. I know. I know. But I said, go love your life, whatever that consists of. Because I don't think she really knows what her life consists of. So if you can't see these monkeys, they're all up in the trees. See? See? Monkeying around. Hey, where the monkeys? When you keep monkeying around. All the time that he's singing. Waking me up 6:30 every morning. Little fuckers. I can hear you in the trees. And that's all of us. Acting like monkeys. Acting like a child sometimes. Acting like an adult sometimes. And what's the other one? Adult, child, or parent. That's right. This other guy coined a phrase. I forget his name. The book's called The Games We Play. And in his psychology, he realized that people get in these positions where they're like, do the dishes, and you think you're the parent, and someone else might act like the child, and that we take it out on each other, right? We get in these positions where we start acting like children, especially when we run out of words and we start to hit each other. We are so scared that we scream and we fight and we get mean, just like Nina did, and my ex, and my past, and me. There's so much of me in there, the narcissistic parents. There's so much of me with the self-sabotage and sleeping with someone else. There's so much of me in the pain. And that's why I have to heal from this. I have to see a psychologist. I have to talk to someone. I have to talk to this show and say, my mistakes are my own. And I could blame it on my dad. I could blame it on my mom. I could blame it on my past. But it ain't going to move the ship forward. I needed to not put my hands on people. I need to not create distrust and break trust and be abusive. I need to stop myself before I hurt someone else. And that's it. Listening to Sadea Khan, she admitted it. Saying, man, the fucking monkey's right in the trees. Just chilling, branch to branch. They're so built for that shit. They're built for branches. And unfortunately, especially learning these things when she was talking about how, her anger issues and that her self-esteem isn't that high. Her confidence is like a 6 or a 7, but her self-esteem is also a 6 or a 7. That we conflate the two. That we're supposed to have these high feelings, and as long as I feel high, then everything is on the high. And the truth is it only takes a little bit of anger and a lost temper, and you're taking it out on your loved ones. And I think that was the most honest she would be. That she was honest that she hasn't always treated people benevolently. She's like, I don't do drugs, and I work out, and I have faith in God. But Lord knows that I lose that God when I get angry. And that's a realization that I had to come to. That my ego is edging God out. My coping mechanisms aren't working, and I'm not as healed as I pretend to be. And that makes me flawed and all, honestly flawed. And I'm embarrassed to say it. So it needed to be said so that I can put some light into these dark spaces. I can light up these areas that I need to work on. And it's got to stop. And I'm a part of the repetition, the routine, and the outcomes. So you are too. It's more than just you and your past and your parents and all these other upbringings. It's your actions, and unless you want to learn new reactions, I think you're going to be doomed to repeat it. And I'm going to go water gun these monkeys. So Go be free. See, it's just going on the roof. Super chill. Look, it's looking at me. Here, I got my gun. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's a curious monkey. You hear him? He knows what time it is. He knows what time it is, and it's time to go. Peace and love. And as always, Chi-Gathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and Phoenix. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of the world, the other side of your excuses. Ciao.